Let's go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Coded and Loaded, episode 2. I am Price Hammond. It is June 3rd, Tuesday, 2 p.m. If you were looking for Coded and Loaded Talking Truck, you are in the right place because that is what we're doing today. I'm joined by
Ainsley Smith.
And she's going to tell you a little bit more about what we're here to talk about today with our second episode.
Yeah, so today we're here with the man himself, Van Carlisle. We're going to get an exclusive demo on Respond AI. So we brought on the master of responses himself.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, my name is Van Carlisle. I'm our product owner for data science and AI. Been with McLeod for almost about 6 years. It'll be 6 years in September, I do believe. Started out in our comm and integrations team, working in third parties, getting it all integrated, mainly for brokers and some assets as well. And then moved over into our data science team where I got to work over there to deal with some of the analytics and things like that. And then got the opportunity with the hype of AI and how it's coming out into the market, got to take the opportunity with McLeod and run that team and be the product owner for data science and AI now.
Nice. Nice. Van does pretty much everything. His office is right next to mine. We talk all day. So, love Van, big fan. But before we get to what Van's here to show, that rhyme, big fan, love Van. Before we get to what Van's going to show us today, we do have some housekeeping to take care of. I forgot what it was.
The Impact Summit is one of them.
Yep.
The Impact Summit starts Thursday night and goes through Friday all day.
Yes, if they're setting up for it right now. It's here. They're probably going to be mad at me for doing this, but I'm going to say it. Look, if you want to come and you don't have a ticket, shoot me an email. They're expensive this year, but I can get you one for free. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. We want you here. So please shoot me an email.
Yeah, so price is actually indeed not the hookup. It's free for everyone, whether you go through price or not. But you guys should come.
Okay. She wasn't supposed to say that. Any more housekeeping? What else do we have?
That's it.
No, I think that's it. Okay, so Van, let's take it away. Let me see what this response. We've got 24,000 viewers right now watching us, and I think they're all here specifically for this demo. So,
yeah.
What you got for us?
Yeah, so really with AI and the hype that was coming out, McLeod really wanted to get in front of that and start looking at ways that we can invest into AI. We know that we're not going to be this me and everything AI. I think the past couple of years with everything that's been coming out, there's a new product every day, every week, every month, whatever the case might be, right? So we know that we're not going to be the SMEs and everything, so we wanted to kind of create an open ecosystem. That way that other vendors and other partners and people like that are able to kind of come in and also utilize our platform and provide value to our customers. But we wanted to kind of cut through some of the hype and really figure out where AI could provide value to our customers. And we decided to really land on generative AI. And what we're doing with generative AI is actually kind of providing responses back to different forms of communication that's coming into your inbox with MobileCom. So what we did is we started out with MobileCom and freeform messages specifically and looking at kind of what drivers are saying, what they're shooting into dispatchers and fleet managers and things like that. And we were seeing how long does it take them to respond to some of those things, like how many minutes, how many hours, whatever the case might be. So we took about 10 customers, 13 customers, took about the top 5 and the bottom 5% off. And we looked at that average and it came out to be about 45, 50 minutes for that response time.
Sheesh. 45 minutes, like for an average message.
Yep, for anything else coming in, of course we had things on the lower end and some things on the top end of that, of course, right? But on average, about 45 minutes is how long it took that driver to get any type of information. Mm-hmm. And you know, when drivers are really getting paid by the mile, and that's kind of where it's all coming from, if they're sitting on the side of the road waiting for an unload number or something like that for 45 minutes, they're missing out on some of that money that they could be getting, or could be earning.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I don't think they'd be thrilled about
Not at all.
45 minutes at all.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty mad if I was sitting on the side of the road not making any money and my dispatcher was taking a smoke break.
Exactly.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Right, that's a
That's supposed to be a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
no tell.
So we kind of looked at that asset side of things, and we also wanted to do something for the brokers as well. Now, of course, they don't have tractors or units and things like that, right? But what they do probably have, along with asset, as well as those emails. So we got a bunch of different emails coming in for quotes, load statuses, any type of information that might be coming over from their customers or even carriers in some cases. So we're looking at that and saying, well, how could we be responding to those? I think we did a little statistic where they got on average around 175 emails in, so an average user got about 175 emails, and they responded to, sent back out about 120 of those. So really looking and saying, can we really reduce that to wherever it took them maybe an hour or 2 hours or however long in their process and really cut it down by about 50%, giving them more time to do things that they need to be doing.
It's also pulling you out of whatever your normal flow is. So like, just the time to respond is one thing, but all the time you lost, now I got to figure out what I was doing. And get,
Yeah.
And all the time it takes a search for all that TMS data and all that kind of stuff to
Yeah.
reply to emails.
And what you want to find. So, and it's pulling all that data from that TMS as well too, to provide more into that response, to make it more robust and have some of that information in there as well. So, one thing I can keep talking about, or how about I just kind of cut in and show y'all some of the demo? What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Let's see it go. Let's see it go.
So what we have here is, this is kind of our home screen. I like to call it a couple of different things, command tower, home screen, whatever you want to call it. I like command tower. But what we try to do,
I like it too.
right, bring everything into one place.
Command tower from now on.
Yeah. And so what we're trying to do is, you notice your eyes kind of get drawn to that what's up first. So it's that dark box up at the top. And really that's that prioritization list for the user. So in this case, I'm logged in. I can see what I need to be doing first, second, third, and fourth all throughout the day. That can be set up. What we're looking at doing is set for a manager. So maybe I have a new employee coming in and that employee needs to look at some training or something like that. We're looking at adding some of those things into that prioritization list so that that user knows exactly what they should be doing each and every day as they log in.
Nice. So you get your, here's what's first, keep it rocking.
Yep, most important things up at the top, and that's what you'll see a lot throughout the product is we're trying to really drive those important and urgent things to the top so that we're trying to get through those first rather than some of your other just
like
mundane things.
The filler emails. that we
Exactly.
get all the time. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And so you'll also notice right below that, right down here, we have our kind of player scoreboard, if you would. So that user, in this case myself, is able to see how many emails they can get, how many average responses they get, or what that average response time is, and how many average messages they are. And they're able to actually see exactly how they're doing and making sure they're meeting kind of company standards with some of those as well.
What's your average response time?
Yeah, so in my demo environment right here, it looks like I've been slacking a little bit, maybe taking one too many breaks in there.
Too many breaks are 100.
A couple hundred probably in there, right?
That's good.
But that's what we're really trying to do, and that actually shows 7 days. So this day right now, I'm not doing really good at all, right? Or this week, I'm really not doing all. But it'll be able to show you as you improve each one of those weeks. You'll be able to see those as well too. So now that you've kind of brought me there, right? My manager would show me kind of where I'm making that mistake. I'm able to kind of change that and kind of get in there and do what I need to be doing.
Nice. Yeah, we've definitely got some corrective action for Van.
Yeah.
If they still let you work.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what Van's up to all day.
And then down here below that, we kind of have little boxes in here that shows you kind of welcome to respond and some support, some easy ways for you to send in a ticket to us. But really what we want to do with that is make it to where we can push out different updates and the users are aware of those different updates and changes and features. So we're kind of getting away, since this is kind of a true SaaS-based web service type product that we have, we're able to push updates and different key features out as we kind of wrap them up and provide value to those customers as well too. So we might push out different intents throughout the year. Don't need to wait on any specific releases for Loadmaster or PowerBroker or anything like that. So we'll be able to really keep that fresh and up to date for our users as we bring more features and functionalities in there as well.
So that'll just highlight what's in the newest release?
Yep.
Nice.
Maybe even show you some training videos, whatever the case might be, take you over to our e-learning portal. Any of that features we'll be able to kind of show you and highlight right there.
So everybody's on the newest release all the time.
Yes, correct. There's no specific version. We go back to version 20.21.1 and up. So as long as you're on one of those versions, you'll be able to use that, and you'll be able to access that data. That's really where that version comes from.
I bet the guy who manages your support team loves that.
He does. He does.
He's a big fan.
He's very excited about it.
Yeah, he sounds like a great guy. No, that's awesome. So, and I'm trying to think of like what my day looks like with Respond now. So am I using this instead of Outlook? Is this my landing zone, or what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it really is kind of a replacement to your Outlook, or it can be. Really what we're trying to do is bring in those important things. So you know how you probably get in your email a bunch of those spam and different emails that really aren't important to you, they're more just kind of informational and things like that?
Well, I'm the talent. This is all I do is this website.
That's right.
Yeah, so
If you were.
yeah, Ainsley might.
You're actually an employee.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So you really would actually see those, and it filters out some of those. But one cool thing that we're doing is if you actually send the email in Respond, it'll actually show up in your Outlook. So if you're ever over in Outlook, you can see what's actually being sent out. So it kind of keeps tabs on it.
Because you do have to look at the fillers.
Exactly.
I guess, right? Y'all do.
Yeah. And there's probably a couple of folders in there, something like that you want to access information with and stuff like that. So not a full replacement of that, but really and truly in your day-to-day, you're able just to get in there and focus on what you need to be doing.
The work side.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
So now kind of getting into messages and emails, we show these over to the right-hand side of it, and really what we're just trying to show you there are the kind of top 5, if you would, important things that we have in there. We're always going to show you urgent and important ones up at the top, and those are kind of specified by this red dot and emblem right here as messages, and in emails down here. So you can see all that information and see those urgent ones kind of coming up and respond to those. I can directly kind of click into these and see that information, or I can navigate over to my Respond tab, which is where all of those response housings live, right? So when I first go over there, it brings me to Mobilecom messaging, so I'm able to see different messages from Mobilecom units and things like that. In this case, we have this unit where Steven, in this case, was saying he had a flat tire. I'm able to easily be able to kind of select some of these one-click answers. These come from our AI, so it generates these one-click. If you're familiar with like Teams or anything like that, kind of gives you some of those options. But then also down here we have a reply with AI. And once you click on that, it'll actually kind of provide that response to you and do that. In this case, it was just a flat tire, so it didn't need to go grab anything from the TMS. But if he was asking for a load or what's his unload reference number or the BOL or something like that, it'd actually be able to go into that TMS and actually provide that in the response.
Nice. That's crazy.
And you're done a lot of time.
Yeah. And so it's saving you that time of going in there and searching. And then you're also able to see that response first, and you get a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So what this is doing and what our model is we're taking all that feedback from that user when it wasn't a good response or they didn't like how it was said, and we'll take that information and train our model so that we're getting it to sound a little bit more on them and kind of really work on our vertical AI path more so than our horizontal path there.
Yeah, and the way you're showing it now, that's so like I have to confirm I want to fire this message off before I hit this drive.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And we chose to do it that way first because we wanted to get our users familiar with the model and trusting the model and providing some of those responses. But I definitely see, and what we've heard from a lot of our different beta customers as well too, is once it's pretty good, right, can we automate it? Do I even need to look at it? And that's really where we look to plan to take it, right? So how could we automate some of those things? So maybe load statuses. You're always good with those. Those automatically go out. So how could we really bring that to life for the customers?
That's cool.
Pretty sweet.
So moving over.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Sky coming forward.
So on the email side of things too, we have all of our different emails, and we have those coming in. It's very similar to like what you see on your email side of it. So you have your drafts, you have your sents, you have your deletes, all those different inboxes as well too, and you have your urgent, again, bringing those to the top as well as your other emails that are coming in. So in this case, we have Price right here. He sent me one, kind of being our customer right here. He was wanting to actually schedule to go play a round of golf with us here.
That I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what that is doing is you notice that it actually classified it and kind of tagged it up here as those emails are coming in. And you can kind of see that information as it's coming in so that we know exactly what that email is. And we know exactly once we open it up what it's going to be dealing with, whether it be going to play golf maybe or whether it be getting an appointment scheduled or something
it could be
like
that. But so it knows because I'm in here as a customer, essentially. That's the only reason it's coming through to you in the first place. But that's pretty cool. So it recognizes, says, hey, Price is trying to go play golf.
Yeah.
Well, it's asking, I'm pretty sure I asked you to leave early, though.
Yeah.
So what does it say if you try to respond?
Yeah, so if we respond to that, it'll go ahead and generate that for me. Oh, no. Looks like I had issues with that response.
Let's see, it doesn't like dipping out early. It's not
boundaries
on board.
for
Yeah,
that.
he's drawing to say, he's like, Van, you don't have time to deal with Price. I like that. I like that.
So, but usually what it'll do is we'll respond in there. So like in this case, we have this email coming in for like a load status. We'll see if some of this technical on the demo side is working. If we reply with AI on that one, you'll actually see it goes into the actual TMS and it'll provide back some information about that load. So you'll see in this particular load, it's coming back saying, hey, the load's available or it's currently available. Here's your pickup location, your delivery location, current information like a contact, anything like that that you need to know. You're able to see all of that in that kind of response. And ultimately, if you like it, you can keep that, see that actual email in there. You can add your personal touch in here as well too. So if you knew that this customer responds well to a certain thing, add that little personal touch in there as well too. And then you can easily fire that out and send that out. You get a little token down there at the bottom letting you know that that email is sent. And you can see it actually takes it off of the unread as well too. And if I go back to my homepage, you'll see it actually cleared up some of that information as well. So you don't see I don't have that email down there anymore. And now I see this new email that just came in. So we have something that kind of refreshes
What's
it
this
as well
one?
too. And it says, looks like Price is, what is it? The co-host Price is a looker.
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys. Goodness.
So we have that information coming in as well too.
I
But
appreciate that.
it's seeing all those emails as they're coming in. You're seeing those come in, and it's updating those and responding to those. So just like that coming in, you're able to see all of that information.
Nice. This Price customer sure seems to bother you a lot. with nothing.
He's one of my best customers.
Okay, good. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Nice to hear. Man, that's crazy. So really, you're just streamlining every aspect of the communication part of our jobs.
Yep.
I think, and that's the hardest part, the most time-consuming part. I'd say.
I think it's the biggest broken part.
Yeah, it's where you can track most breakdowns back to.
Yeah.
Well, probably not literal breakdowns.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
All right, cool. Awesome.
Well, cool. Well, the last thing I kind of have, as well as kind of touching on our templates, we have some templates here. We kind of use templates to be ready-made responses. So if you wanted to respond to a customer a certain way, or you wanted to respond to a certain email or classification that's coming in, you can kind of have those ready-made templates with different variables. Variables are going to be elements that are actually coming from the TMS. You'll be able to populate those kind of in your template so that you enrich your kind of response in that template response with information inside of your TMS, as well as you kind of coaching how you want that response to be. That way you have a set way to kind of send those candid responses out to those. So if you have a certain customer or you want to provide certain information a certain way, you're able to do that via those templates.
That's cool. So if Walmart emails me in the same format every day and they ask for updates on these 10 loads, I can email them back the same format response.
Yep, and you can have it specific to yours, and Ansley can have it specific to how she wants. So if she likes to put a little message up at the top first before she sends it over there, right? She's able to do that as well. So
that's me. I put a different Taylor Swift lyric.
There you go.
In one of my emails.
Yeah, so
awesome.
you're able to do that.
Nice. That's crazy. Cool.
So
Templates, emails, mobile comm messages,
classifications, tagging. Trying to do everything. Trying to give you as much information into one screen for you. Prioritization.
I think what's cool too is the one version thing. We're doing that a little bit with IQ and seeing the change of that from the historical McLeod methodology.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have that one release that you get these new features and we email you about your upgrade. You don't email us. And I think that's or if we even email you, you know,
Yeah.
or just push it out and you got new stuff. So
It's like a continuous upgrade.
yeah.
Exactly.
And how many people are in beta right now?
So we got about 4 customers in beta right now.
Nice.
They've been really enjoying it. Had a lot of great feedback from them. We've been learning a lot from our beta customers as well too, and we've been making some changes based off of some of those beta feedback. And that's one thing that we really want to focus with this product is getting that customer's voice out there. We want it to be heard. We want to see what drives that customer the most and bringing that value to them. Because if it brings the most value not only to them but as to all of our customers as a whole and kind of helps build that vertical AI path that we have more so than horizontal, what you see with some of the other things like Copilot and stuff like that, really trying to enhance that.
Yeah, I think Jason talked with us about that on the first episode of Code.
Yeah.
Talked about the horizontal versus vertical AI approach, and I think this is a great example of why the vertical approach gives you a little bit more juice to squeeze, to use a good phrase.
I like that.
Squeeze and juice.
Yeah, that good.
A little bit more. Never mind. Shoot a step in.
Yeah.
Awesome, Dan. Well, man, that's awesome. I'm sure we've got 48,000 viewers right now that were just blown away by that. Guys, this is your opportunity for questions. If you have a question, we have Van for 10 minutes. This show is live for a reason. We want the questions. Send them in. We've got Van for a little bit longer. We would love to hear them. Please. He'd love to answer them.
So I have one question.
Ooh.
Yeah, shoot.
He's jumping the gun a little. No. Okay, so post commercial release,
Yeah.
what's our plan? Are we gonna do spot quotes? Are we gonna enter orders?
Yeah, so that's exactly kind of what we're leaning down towards now is order creation. So as emails are coming in or as those loads are coming in to create those orders, we're looking at how can we create those into the system, as well as probably going hand in hand with that is quotes, right? So seeing those quotes inside the system. I know whenever I was a user, putting in some of those quotes as well too was always a lot, making sure that you always did that one thing when you're doing freight, right? And so really what we hope to do with that is really bring to forth the win and loss ratio in some of those quotes, who they're dealing with, who they usually find more success with as well too. Because when we look at responding and doing some of those different things, that'll help those opportunities get won in those different things. So
Cool.
of course, customer value is always one thing too. So from our beta customers, as well as we get on more of these beta customers as well too, if they come up with some other things as well that provides value to not only them and to other customers as well too, we'll look at bringing that into the mix and seeing kind of where that falls as well. That's one good benefit that we do have.
Yeah. I think, no, I totally blanked on what I was going to say, but you were talking about Respond AI, and it was awesome. I forgot where I was going, but it was a good comment. But you were just so mesmerizing. Oh yes, now I remember. I was gonna say Van's team and Jason's team, as they've been developing this has been obviously they didn't start last week. It was 3 weeks ago they got started on this project and started putting some effort into it. But in that time, the communication they've had with the other departments around McLeod has been pretty impressive. I know I've sat on a bunch of different meetings about it. They're asking the subject matter experts on every bit of this because, like Van said, it's coming into TMS and pulling data from all over the place. Like it's going to get your order information. It's going to provide contact information. There's all sorts of data that can flow to it, and that data comes from places around McLeod that have been touched over the last 20 years by experts in those fields. So they've done a great job of really getting the right people to answer the right questions when it comes to generating these responses, which is huge. I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah. And I'll say too, another thing that we heard from our customers a lot, from the beta customers as well, and whenever we demo as well too, is analytics, right? So we show that scoreboard down at the bottom for like that user, but as a manager, as the president or the VP, right? How can I see how my team's doing, or how can I see how after hours did compared to normal hours and stuff like that? And so we also look at bringing kind of an analytics view into it as well, kind of going back into the open ecosystem. We want to open that up to meet the user, kind of meet that customer wherever they're building those reports, whether it be Power BI or whatever it may be. One thing we really look at doing, talking about subject matter experts, is Impact IQ, using
Yeah,
that
yeah,
to
yeah.
build up some of those reports and have some of those ready for out of the box, and those managers can use some of those analytics to be able to see some of that information and see exactly the impact, no pun intended, that it's making in what they're able to see.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd
Yeah.
be fun for us to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Do we have any questions from the chat?
questions?
Do we have anybody fire us anything off? I know.
We do.
Ooh.
First question is, what's the most compelling value prop for brokers versus asset-based carriers?
Ooh.
Yeah.
If y'all didn't, I'm going to repeat the question real quick. If y'all didn't hear, the question is, what's the most important value prop for brokers versus assets? So
Yeah.
what's this going to do for them?
So with brokers, I think it's really winning more opportunities with the emails and bringing all those emails in. I know me, I can only answer so many emails a day if I'm having to go and look and search and do all these different things. So I think one of the biggest benefits with the brokers, and also too, is they're in a lot of different applications all over the place with a bunch of different information in. So how can we get them, and this kind of goes for both sides, how can we bring them all into assets able to do that as well too, because they have emails. But I think the biggest thing for them, and what I haven't seen out on the market a lot too, is the kind of the asset side to AI. So looking at MobileCom messages, I think that's the really biggest
that's a big
benefit. And then it kind of expands from there, because if anybody deals with MobileCom, they know it just doesn't stop at messages, right?
Yeah.
There's external application errors. There's all different types of Z-emitting forms and all the different fun things that you get to do in MobileCom. And so that's one benefit that we have with being able to get in there and access to the TMS. And that's kind of, again, for both sides as well, too. We have access to the TMS to where we can pull it. Whether you are a brokerage or you're an asset or you do both. One of
Yeah.
our customers do both, right?
Yeah.
We're able to get access to all of that and kind of determine what that is and respond to it.
Nice. That still just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Who's next? We got another one? Any other questions? Any other questions from the crowd? All right. Guys, I think that'll do it. Oh, I have one last question. If we have time. I have a question.
For you, always.
Back before I switched to the show business, I was in trucking myself. I used to dispatch trucks, and I think, especially with all the AI hype going around, one of the general concerns is like, how's a driver going to feel
Yeah.
if they know that message was generated from a bot? Like, is there? I mean, I guess you could see both sides of it, right?
Yeah, and actually talking with customers, we've heard both sides too.
Yeah.
So some customers we hear that, they don't really want that AI talking to them because they want to maintain that relationship with the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually the biggest thing behind that, right? Is maintaining that relationship. They don't want anything going over to hurt that relationship with the driver. And I think really them getting access to the information will be their biggest benefit. It's not who they're relying on talking to all the time. They can still pick up the phone
Yeah.
and call the dispatcher and still keep that connection. That dispatcher or fleet manager can still call them or text them, because over text message, right, they're buddies or whatever the case is. You still kind of keep that connection. But when that driver is in a pinch and you're stuck on a phone call with your other driver who broke down, it's able to get him what he needs. And so they find that part of it exciting because they're not stuck on the road. They're being able to do what they love doing, which is on the road, driving, getting miles in, and they're happy. So we hope it also helps the company with driver churn, right?
Yeah.
They don't see as many drivers turning in and quitting because they're able to get consistent miles, have the information that they need, and be successful at what they're doing.
As I was asking the question, I was thinking like, yeah, he might. I've got like 8 drivers in my head that I'm having this conversation with, but it's like, I don't want to hear from a bot.
Yep.
Well, actually, never mind. It's fine. I got my VOL number right when I did that. Yeah, the emotional side of it will get removed pretty quick. As long as, if you're getting the information that you need, they don't care where it's coming. We just want to go. So
Exactly.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
that's
awesome.
and that's one thing that we wanted to do too, with providing that screen for the user as well too, so that they can keep that message. It doesn't automatically send it right then. They have to hit send. So if they wanted to add kind of that personal touch to it as well, we'll be grabbing that information and training the model.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So respond. It is almost here. We are ready to roll. I hope everybody enjoyed the demo today. Ansel, you have anything else before we get into some? Do we have anything else
I
before?
just have some housekeeping stuff.
Housekeeping.
Good.
Housekeeping.
So, September is, come to UC and celebrate
Yeah.
Van's 6 years.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, actually in September. That's
I've
funny
been
enough.
here
Party for you.
like 2 months longer than Van.
We'll be in Denver in September 21st through the 23rd.
The summit, don't
Oh.
forget, you can still buy tickets for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just get them for free.
Either way.
Either way.
Fine with us.
Yeah,
We'd
so,
love to
and
hear
then our
from you.
next episode in 3 weeks, I think that's, June 24th? Is that right?
Sounds about right.
Sounds dead on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our next episode, we're going to have a special guest come talk about trucking company perspectives on AI, autonomous trucking, AI bots responding to drivers, all of that. So join us for that one in 3 weeks.
Yeah, we can't wait. Thank you so much, Van, for joining us. It's another episode of Coded and Loaded, Talking Truck. Thank you, Ainsley. Thank you, Van. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
y'all have a
y'all.
good one.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Coming into the filtering, as always, you never know what it's going to do.
Okay.
Bang. Way to go, everyone.